We're back again with some of Dr. Phil's most interesting moments. Reality shows are usually filled with a lot of unexpected scenarios and, of course, melodrama.
There's got to be a different way to go about this. And if you're ever going to be together...
Our video today presents you with the top 5 Dr. Phil roasts. So you'll be seeing some of Dr. Phil's most savage insults.
Because my life, that's all I know, Dr. Phil. That's all I know.
Or at least as savage as a guy like Dr. Phil can be. After seeing some of these no-chill moments, be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. But before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's get started. Number 5. Dr. Phil abruptly ends an interview. This girl has a lot of issues that put her in a very embarrassing situation on air. Bailey claimed that she was in a relationship with a woman named Jasmine whom she met on Twitter. Bailey was totally convinced that Jasmine knew her very well, but this was clearly not the case. Dr. Phil showed some text messages between her and Jasmine that indicated that Jasmine never knew Bailey.
He says, I don't know you. What don't you...
They never met in real life, nor did they talk or text each other. Bailey thought that they were in a relationship when they started subtweeting each other's tweets. Bailey thought that everything Jasmine did on social media had something to do with her. Bailey even had Jasmine's photo as her header, which, understandably, freaks Jasmine out. When Dr. Phil showed Bailey the conversation, she was embarrassed and then said perhaps the problem was that she did not understand that when Jasmine told her that she did not know her, she should have stopped bothering her. When Jasmine joined the interview, Bailey seemed to have a change of heart and even apologized, even though she believed that they were both in a relationship. The saddest part was when she was interviewed all alone with Dr. Phil.
You can all laugh at me, it's
Well,
fine.
you know what? I think we're just going to shut this down because...
Where he told her that she and Jasmine never had a physical relationship, and she started telling the audience that she, quote, would be their spectacle. You can laugh at me, it's fine. She said all this while holding back tears. Dr. Phil saw that as Bailey playing the victim and ridiculing the audience to gain their sympathy. Dr. Phil said that he wanted no part in that and would not want to present this on his show, and so he asked her to leave the stage. We suggest checking out the full episode for yourself to get the full story, as it's a very interesting episode. Number 4. A guy thinks being famous is more important than getting an education. This guy's mother wanted to pay money for her son to go to college, but he refused. He did not want to continue his education, and he thought it was worthless and not useful. He'd rather sit at home and watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He also said that he wanted to become famous and have his own show like Dr. Phil. He also referred to the fact that he always watched Dr. Phil and took notes to learn from him.
And in fact, I am honestly learning every day, and I am growing.
So Dr. Phil couldn't just sit there and watch the guy brag about himself. A lot of young people wish they could afford to go to university, whereas this guy saw university as an abominable place that he would rather not go to. Dr. Phil understands that college may not be for everyone, and even said it was fine that he didn't want to go to college. But this meant that as long as he would stay in his mother's house, he had to take part in paying the bills, paying the rent, doing chores, so on and so forth. The audience agreed and they applauded Dr. Phil's advice. It seemed like it was the only way to teach this spoiled kid a lesson. He shut the guy down with his words of wisdom. It was pretty funny when the guy was trying to persuade Dr. Phil that he was learning every day and that he did a lot of things at home that proved he was trying to help. The guy wanted Dr. Phil to ask his mother about some of the things that he would do to help around the house.
You're not pulling your own weight. If you want to be famous in your head or in the world...
And Dr. Phil shut him down completely, saying that he was the host of his show and he had already known everything from his mother. It left the guy speechless, for sure. Number 3. Wannabe YouTuber goes on Dr. Phil. This girl might have taken it too far. She wanted to appear on Dr. Phil and she bluntly said that she had no respect for her mother and called her by her first name, Kimber. So before we even get into the episode, she gives off an awful first impression. It's quite obvious that the girl just wanted to become famous. She seems like quite a daddy's girl, and even thought that her father was an idiot for marrying her mother.
Because I think this is funny. Like, I'm not even that big of an issue. The issue is sitting right there.
But why...
She said that her mother ruined her life because she called her a few names. She dropped out of school to be a skater girl and become a YouTube star. She claimed to need her mother to get out of her life. She acts so unbelievably rude. And you know what's worse? She's only 16. She talked to her mother very inappropriately in front of Dr. Phil and an entire audience. She called her mother a psychopath and wished her mother went away and never came back.
Professional thing to do.
What does that mean they're not in your bubble?
She She even told Dr. Phil himself that he was doing the easiest thing ever, which is hosting a TV show, and that it's not that hard. Then she told him, "Do not try to roast me," and he replied that he wasn't even trying to. It was very clear that this girl just wanted attention and thought this was the best way to get it. She was acting very disrespectful and downright disgusting. Her grotesque display and utter lack of respect for those around her makes me want to go give my mom a hug and tell her I love her right now. In fact, I think I'm gonna go do that. Number 2. Tough-talking teen Danielle. You might remember this girl, Danielle, who was 13 years old and was a frequent guest on Dr. Phil. Her mother claimed that her daughter, Danielle, was ungovernable and out of control. They both would hit each other so often that even the police would get involved. The mother called her many names and tried to put her under control and fix her attitude, but her daughter just wasn't having it. This girl admitted she stole her mom's credit cards and her car. Dr. Phil poked a little fun at Danielle's accent. He asked her if she even made it to the 5th grade, which was admittedly pretty funny. In the first episode that Barbara, Danielle's mother, appeared on Dr. Phil, she claimed that she wanted to stop parenting her daughter who was insanely out of control. The mother said that the girl was all mouth. Later on, Danielle was put through a program called Turnabout Ranch, where she would get a special kind of treatment to help fix her attitude. The next time she appeared on the show, she talked with Dr. Phil about this program. Shane Young, admissions director of the Turnabout Ranch program, told Dr. Phil that she showed huge change in her attitude and she made tons of progress. Dr. Phil asked Danielle about what she wanted to do when she grew up, and she said she wanted to be a nurse. She also said that people bombarded her on Instagram with many direct messages about her speaking voice. Dr. Phil told Danielle that the episode made her famous, and she replied saying that Dr. Phil was nothing before she showed up in his show. She literally said, quote,
"Well, I guess what's good for you is I made you just like how Oprah made you. You were nothing before I came on this show."
It left the audience in disbelief, but everyone couldn't help but laugh. Her mother interfered and reminded Danielle that it was Dr. Phil who helped her through her problems. But then off she goes, stating that only Dr. Phil's money helped, but he did not do anything himself. She owed gratitude to the Turnabout Ranch program only. Then she was forced to thank Dr. Phil, which she reluctantly did. I guess that Turnabout Ranch program really did help her turn about 360 degrees. So yeah, we might have cheated a bit with this entry since it was a guest that roasted Dr. Phil and not the other way around. Number 1. Dr. Phil embarrasses spoiled rich girl. Here we have another bratty woman who is disrespectful to her mother in front of Dr. Phil and the audience. The craziest thing is that the audience would clap whenever she said something rude. However, as we've seen, this is not the first time that the audience encourages such an attitude. Anyway, this girl used a bunch of credit cards in her mother's name and spent over $24,000.
17 credit cards, and you said you just throw the bills away when they come in?
Yeah.
She genuinely did not believe that she was at fault and that she did nothing wrong. Because, what's a couple $24K between family members, right? Dr. Phil asked her why she would do such a thing, and she replied saying simply, "Because I can." Seriously? She said she shoved a fish sandwich in her mother's mouth and threw a slice of pizza at her mother's face. She acted very proud of that, and it left her mother in tears on the show. Now that's not a funny visual. She acts very materialistic, bratty, and with total disregard for others. Dr. Phil slips in a little mini roast here when she said, well, she should have ate faster. That's when Dr. Phil asks her, "Did you sell your 5th grade grammar book?" The crowd laughed and clapped along as usual, but this is only the beginning. She was angry that her mother bought her an old-fashioned car, calling it ugly. As if that wasn't enough, she also sold her mother's sentimental earrings, which she inherited from her mother and her grandmother. Wow, I think calling her selfish might be too kind. But here is where we get to the good stuff. Dr. Phil prepared a check of $24,000 and asked her what she would do if she was given the check. She said that she would go to school, but nobody was buying it. That's when this beautifully cathartic moment was sent through the airwaves. Dr. Phil proceeds to tear up the check and told her that it was never going to happen. And that's what makes this moment number 1 on this list. It was quite a relief to see someone with that level of sheer ego be brought down a peg or two. After hearing about these moments, tell us in the comments section below. What do you think about these roasts on Dr. Phil's show? What are some of your favorites that we might have missed? Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Have a good day, everyone.